Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the Earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 247th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace here on Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. This is the broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Cramond, and I'll be host today once again in these weekly series. And once again, I'm joined with Mark as a co-host. Thank you very much, Mark. And I believe we're ready to dive into today's presentation from members of the Universal Council. So we look forward to that. Go ahead, please.
Oh, on behalf of all of us, I welcome you to the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. And that's what we heard in the introduction. The time for change is now, and it's time for change to move, and it's reached this planet. Through the beauty of the soul of diversity of the languages spoken on planet Earth, all souls are as equal, and all are as creators, as they are created in the image of the Creator. And this is the understanding we're moving into, that the three major religions, basically, this is one of their commonalities, is that they believe man is created in the image of the Creator. And this is our commonality. I think all things, all souls are created in the image of the Creator. We're on this planet. We call it a spaceship. We can see we are moving through space. And there's many beauties to be discovered here on this planet and in space as well, or in the universe. But until we bring this planet into a peaceful condition, we've sort of been isolated in a way, even though we've always been part of the universal community. Our habits of killing and warmongering and saber rattling have come to the point where this planet has become ungovernable. It's almost like having too many cooks in the kitchen. You just can't seem to get anything done. One is bumping this way, one is bumping that way. And the meal is waiting to be served, but it's not prepared yet. So this is what we're doing here in the Keshe Foundation, is bringing this planet, the fields of this planet, elevating the souls of this planet, and all the inhabitants of this planet. The conditions are changing. The fields are changing on this planet, so that all souls start to become elevated and aware of not just themselves, but of the bigger universe that we're all looking forward to experience and understand. I think this is one of the main questions man has asked himself. what is my purpose in the universe, and am I alone in the universe? And we've seen to find many answers in the structure of the Keshe Foundation and what's happening right now, let's say in the background, and some of it is in the foreground of what's taking place on this planet. So it's a revolution of thinking, a revolution of ideas. As Mr. Keshe says, we're introducing a new science, a new ethos or a way of thinking, a collective way of thinking, and a new language, which again, for many is strange, but we're partaking in the knowledge of the universe, again, which is endless, but it's not man's knowledge we're moving into. We're moving into the universal knowledge, which we didn't even know existed. I don't think you can find much of it written in any of the man's books, but you can certainly go on Amazon and look at Mr. Keshe's 3 books, and there's many more books to be released, but it's all spelled out in the teachings, in the patents, in the papers. It's almost an endless amount of knowledge that's being brought and shared with us by Mr. Keshe, who's a universal teacher. So to move into the one nation, one planet, one race, we're going to have to drop the borders. We're going to have to drop the idea of races and just understand that we are all mankind. And of course, we're including the vertical people and the horizontal people as well. So we invite you to partake in this new way of understanding, this new way of sharing knowledge, this new way of serving each other rather than serving ourselves, as we're understanding. This is the whole purpose of creation, is servitude. And Mr. Keshe said nothing else, no matter which way you look at it. So we welcome you all to be part of the Keshe Foundation. The technology of transmutation, transportation is just so out of this world, let's say. But it's being delivered to us in systems that you can find in Linz, Austria. So I invite all of you to dig deeper into the structure of the Keshe Foundation. It may seem almost insurmountable, but it's really broken down into 4 main areas, which is the agricultural, the energy, the space travel, and the health. And it touches all of us. And again, we're here to serve and not to be served. So I welcome you to the new science, the new ethos, and the new language being introduced on this planet. Thank you.
Thank you,
These
my
are
dear.
the, yes, these are the wishes that were put together by the Universal Council. And of course, each nation has a representative in the Universal Council. Some are serving more than one nation until someone appears as a Universal Council member. But these are the wishes that are been created by the Universal Council, or from members of the Universal Council, or from citizens of certain nations. And we're learning to work through our energies to change the structure, to change the behavior, especially of the world leaders. So I'll just read this wish. We, the Universal Council, give through our heart and soul to all beautiful souls coming in the light and love in this time of transition.
I am present. We are present, my dear.
Yes, our wish is our command.
We are present. There is another wish? Yes, yeah.
Certainly. And again, you would think, and I've thought in the past, that wishes are really for children, but adults really don't make wishes. They roll up their sleeves and they get things done. But as I said, the energies, since we're all reactors and we're generating fields, and we can spread those fields to change things, this is what the wishes are. It's happening on the energy level, not in the matter state. And this is the way the Universal Council is working and will continue to work in this dimension of energy to actually touch, change, the outcome of things. We, the Universal Council, wish to elevate the souls of the world and religious leaders, militaries, scientists, doctors, and journalists, so that they sign the peace treaty offered by Keshe Foundation and open the gates to freely deliver the knowledge of the Creator. Again, our wish is our command.
I am and we are present. Thank you, my dear Mark, for your beautiful, beautiful words, beautiful and kind words to all humanity. It is always a learning. Thank you. And thank you. And welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And here I will say, today is the full moon. Well, I am comparing the full moon as in the full moon days, the poets had written the poem, the lovers had proposed for love, and many things with this beauty and totality of full moon, holding together hands in love. You can understand the tone of the universe. You understand the beauty of the universe simply when you see the moon. And I will say that yes, this is let's going is not very simple for all of us, as we are all beings of the same heart and same soul, manifested in a way differently, but we are same, we are equal. So then we will say that let go of things, let go of conditions, let go of energies is really hard in this time. But when you are coming up with open hearts, open your hearts, my dear. This will break the barriers. And your love, when you are a lover, anybody can be, and anybody can connect with you very easily. So, well, I will say today, open your hearts, my dear. Yes, the past lives are our learning process, I will say. I will never say that just deplete all the things. There are beauties. There are beautiful essence, beautiful things, beautiful conditions. We remember and will be remembering always, like making a poetry on the moon, like that. The moon is with us from eons, and we didn't understand. But then we understand the love, we understand the peacefulness of the moon. And the night of beauty and totality is here. So I will say that carry on, go forward to say, I love you. And this is what the wish of humanity now. Thank you. Thank you, my dear beautiful souls. Salam, namaste, salute. Rick, can we go to the next slide?
Yes, sure. Could I get you to adjust your microphone a bit there? There's something hitting on the microphone and we hear a noise.
Now,
Okay.
now is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, my dear.
Okay.
Yes, the moment of silence. Yes. Here, my dear beautiful souls, we are doing this continuous and will be forever, as elevations are needed, elevation of all souls, as elevating ourselves.
Sorry, Shweta, there's something hitting on the microphone again.
Now it's okay,
Yeah.
Rick?
Oh, yes, it's okay.
It's hitting. Yeah, I understand. Thank you. This is the 5 minutes of silence, my dear beautiful souls, for elevation of all souls, all beautiful souls, because souls are mostly beautiful. So this is the 5 minutes of elevation and silence of the souls of the 5+1 peace negotiators, the soul of the IAEA, all souls working for peace in Vienna, the soul of humanity, the souls of world leaders and religious leaders of planet Earth. So the time starts from now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being present, taking the responsibility of all that is and that is in existence, believing in love, light, and truthfulness. I will say that as thank you so much for as we elevate to we create peace by elevating the souls. So it is. Thank you so much, my dear ones. Salam, namaste, salute. Rick, can we again? Oops. Rick, can we go to the next slide? Okay. This is a video contribution from the Italian community. We can play this beautiful Italian community. As we know, beautiful souls do most very, very hard work. So
yes, maybe I can say a few things.
Yeah.
It was made by the Italian community, and they want to film, collect all the films, because they've been throwing plasma into the rivers, into the sea. If you remember, Mr. Keshe said a long time ago, to do not keep the plasma in your house and get dust on it, but produce it constantly and put in everywhere. So in this way, we can change the environment. Like we can, more than change, we can give a support to the environment to be at their best. So they made this video. One knowledge seeker, Sandro, made it. So it's really, really nice, and with the help of other knowledge seeker. So I wanted to share today. It arrived on my Telegram chat yesterday. Yeah. Thank you.
Siamo tante piccole anime. Ci sosteniamo a vicenda, nonostante la complessità e la varietà delle nostre vite. Siamo contagiati dall'amore incondizionato che Mr. Keshe riversa costantemente su tutti noi. Siamo come bambini il primo giorno di scuola, attenti, curiosi, un po' insicuri, a volte spavaldi, ma sempre animati dal desiderio di portare armonia con i nostri gesti. Desideriamo manifestare la pace. Desideriamo che la pace trionfi. Regaliamo al mare, al fiume, al lago e a qualche fontana il GANS, frutto delle nostre intenzioni migliori, per unirci alle tante anime satellite sparse sul nostro pianeta. Grazie, Mr. Keshe, per l'immensità e la bellezza delle conoscenze che metti davanti ai nostri occhi. Grazie per le sollecitazioni che ci rivolgi, per la fiducia che riponi in noi e per il calore delle tue azioni, vero nutrimento per il nostro cuore.
Beautiful, beautiful Team Italian, Keshe Foundation, beautiful souls, very beautiful. As yes, we, our universal teacher, lover, Shriman M. Keshe, my Messiah, my love, and we all salute him. All beautiful teachers of Keshe Foundation. Thank you for presenting this video. Beautiful, beautiful video. Wants to share any beautiful soul wants to share anything about this video or anything about your way of saying few words to Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute. Thank you. Hello, Rick, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Oh, okay. Yes, Lisbeth is saying that thank you so much to the Italian community for doing great works, beautiful works. Yes, the knowledge is eternal, indeed. Jaco has said Bella Italia. Beautiful. Gracias. If there is no sharing, then hello, my dear Moshrik, you want to say something about hello?
Are we at the?
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are at this one nation, one city. What's the name of the slide? I don't know.
One city, one city, one center.
One city, one center.
Welcome, welcome.
So, so this is I'm going to talk about this car thing that is kind of like the third part of it. So I did the parts of the experiments that I did. These are not chronological in time, but I think, the way I did it, I think it's better to put them all together, kind of like the high performance end of things. I didn't get to do as much experiments as I wanted to because I moved from one country to another. So in any case, so I'll first start with the story. One of my students here in Bangladesh, we have lots of motorbikes here. And so he wanted to have these coils on his motorbikes, and I know there are quite a few accidents here because one, the way we drive in this part of the world, plus young people ride motorbikes very aggressively. So I said, no, we are not going to put any plasma technology on a motorbike until there is sufficient tests. Okay, now the reason why I didn't let him have it is this. So one of the things that happen is that it increases the torque of the motor. What does that mean, for people who don't understand the torque in a car? When you start a car, you start the car in first gear, so you need a lot of torque. So you have, and that's why you start the car with the first gear. Now, so the torque gets, there is a substantial increase, more so than power. The feel of power is the torque that increases quite a bit. And it's a combination of effects. And the other thing that changes is the steering response. So I had, at that time, I had a sports car, and in the way the electrical wiring in the car was, I could put a flow from the back to the front. No, actually, I did front to the back because the engine was behind the seat. So I created a flow from the front of the car to the back of the car. So the nano coating process was quicker, and the power increase was more than my previous car. And it was a fantastic driving car to start with, but once I put the nanomaterial, the steering response was even faster. So it was not dangerous. It was a very light car, and on top of that, it felt even lighter. So I don't know how fast it was, but it was really. And it was, if one did not know about the car, it would be dangerous to the point it was that level. So this is from my experience with that car, I did not want to do the motorbike. But one can get used to it, or one who knows about how to adjust suspension of a car or a motorbike, I would let that person have it. But otherwise, it's really not, I think, safe to do it. So in a low performance car, these changes don't make it too alarming or too too intense. Maybe that's the correct word for it. So now, later on, I'll talk about it in a bit, I did experiments to further improve the performance, and this is where it stopped, kind of, because I left the United States and then sold the car and all that. But I would say that car was as fast as anything you could buy at that time. It wasn't that powerful, but with all these things, it was very fast. Especially, once you make it light, and if it's a good suspension, you can go very fast without reducing your speed, winding roads. And similar things can be done in, let's say, racing, or people who like to drive that way. But it also requires the additional knowledge of how one should adjust to the new power and the lightness, because lightness actually changes, and the suspension geometry has to be adjusted to take into account. And can you do it with plasma? I'm sure you can, by essentially doing a different lift on both ends. But that will require quite a bit of experiments. But nevertheless, these possibilities do exist. I got sort of like the foretaste of it, but it might, plasma technology has many sides. I mean, we do health, we do soul stuff, and this may not sound like anything like that, but it's a way to connect to people, those who are interested in these kind of areas. So, so it's not just like we do it in health. We connect to people's interest of staying healthy and so forth. But one needs to know enough about the conventional technology as well as the plasma technology to do it in a way that's that's usable by, or safely usable by, those who want to take advantage of it. So this was this is one area I may look into it in the future, but right now, the way I'm doing things, I'm not in a position to do it, but in future it might happen. I do have some interest in these kind of things, so I may do it. But it will be fun to do it with somebody from younger generation. One who is interested in the plasma technology as well as these kind of things. But the possibility exists. Now let's. So this was kind of like this was long ago and early part of my experiments. Now later on, when I started doing the reactors, things got a little more interesting with cars. I never used any reactors in the car, but the car had these coils in there, and and they had the same GaNs on the coil as the one I was using, as one of the GaNs I was using in the reactors I was experimenting with. So these were different experiments. I won't go into those, but the field, I was measuring fields which went beyond the boundary of the rooms that I was running the reactors in. So then what happened is that the garage is about, let's say, from where I was doing the experiment, it was about, let's say, about 40 meters from 40 meters. No, 40 meters. No, 40 meters is too long. It's about 30 meters from where I was running the reactors. So what happened is that usually I get, my first experiment, it was like about 20% improvement. And the later one, that the high performance car, it was somewhere above 25, I would say. These are not measurements that I did with any instrument, especially the power figures, but the economy, the fuel efficiency you can measure. But it was just a feel. But when I ran the reactors, what happened is that the reactor was interacting with the coils in the car. So the fuel efficiency was like 45, 50% in that range improvement, and the power also. So this was the effect of the reactors interacting with the car. And I mean, it was substantial. But this was a very low powered car, and I don't usually drive that car very much, but the person who does said, don't do any more. It feels like the car is flying to him. So I drove the car to see how it was. Steering was very quick, as if it's not quite, it's touching, you can feel that it's touching the ground, but it requires very little effort. So you have to, you have to be very careful in, driving because of the speed of the steering. So in any case, so that experiment was independent of my interest in the car, but it did affect the car. Now, for the car, kind of car that was affected by it, it's not dangerous. It's sort of like a truck type, not truck type, but it's a van type of car, station wagon van type of car, and for carrying luggage and stuff. So it's safety wise, it's all right, but one has to understand to what degree one wants to improve the performance of the engine or the weight of the car. So this will require a little bit of, what do you call it, methodical experiments of, but it's a kind of like a temporary way of connecting with our existing technology and a bridge to plasma technology for those who may not be as interested in the beginning. And as we have talked about earlier, but you have, again, the connection with one's intention, but that's a separate development that one can use along with ease. And the interesting thing is that we can, this actually fits in with another technology, which is we are talking about these days, is the production of the gas, the methane gas. The methane gas is, yes, it's a hydrocarbon. Now, if you look at the formula for the octane, diesel, and petrol, they're all hydrocarbons with the proportion of carbon and hydrogen different. And if we can create the same set of fields and create the liquid version of it, we do have we can have clean gasoline. And if this unit, the unit that produces the gasoline, is small enough to let it fit inside the tank of a car, and you can use the other plasma technology of enhancing the burning process. For example, you can actually, somebody has, I haven't done this experiment, but I've heard somebody did this. Actually, you can put the CO2 GANs around the intake manifold. Intake manifold is the section of the car engine which takes in air to mix with fuel, to get mixed with fuel inside the car to create the detonation or the burning. So the intake manifold, the effect of CO2 is that you can, make the place cooler, as well as, create plasma flow with CO2. Here, the O2 gives you the field of O2 helps the burning process. I know because, the reason, because it enhances the power and the fuel efficiency. So this I haven't done personally, so I don't know. But the person who did it, I heard it in, I think, Rick's workshop. I don't remember where, or it might be Vinny in Philippines. Either I don't exactly remember where I heard it, but essentially, what those who know, there are certain mechanical technology like supercharger, which increases the amount of airflow in the intake. So, it's the idea is similar, but we are doing it with fields. So you're they call it increasing the charge. Charge here they mean by increasing the amount of oxygen. If you have more oxygen, the burning process is more intense. So, but you can, instead of increasing oxygen, you can have the field of the oxygen, which can similarly help the process. And C is the carbon. So, and this helps nanocoat the, what do you call it? Which the burning process does anyway, the inside of the car engine. So, in any case, there are several ways of enhancing the operation of the engine. And some people have put GANs in the fuel, and that's another way of achieving a similar goal. And so this is the engine part of it. But then, as we were talking about earlier, but the weight, there is a weight change in the car, so which affects how the car drives. So that's another direction where there is a limit to how much you can reduce the weight, because under a certain point, if it is less than a certain weight, then you are affected by the wind. If the wind blows, your car will move. There are in stormy weather, you can feel it. So, and this is where I think generally the motorbike kind of things, this factor becomes an issue. So one has to be careful in to what extent a motorbike is being dealt with plasma technology. Maybe we need like some downforce which is related to the speed at which the motorbike is traveling, or maybe even for cars. There are things beyond just simply adding more power or making the car lighter. One has to. We have to look at the basic principle of engineering a car once we cross certain limits. So for simple things, yes, it can be done. And so here I'm talking about the boundary, sort of like the limits of where we can, reach a point where things need further attention in other areas, which may not be strictly plasma. So these are, many of these things are matter state, but our skin, making our skin better with plasma technology is a matter state, but it does have meaningful impact on ourselves as well as our surroundings. So this is that kind of thing. In a way, we are dealing with matter state, but relating and respecting what we have built with our conventional technology, engineering, and so forth. And with the fuel technology, we are even enhancing that. If we have that kind of fuel, then there is no question of pollution. In fact, we can help produce more CO2, which Mr. Keshe has pointed out recently is something we need to increase rather than decrease. And Rick may add something to this because he knows a lot more about this, is that carbon dioxide is not necessarily the bad part of the pollution. Carbon dioxide is the marker gas which indicates the other pollutant. But if we have a fuel source which is without any impurities, then, and plus it has the plasma field, then we don't have to worry about CO2. CO2 is not the problem, but the other things that come in the gasoline, which proportionate to CO2 pollutes the air. So in any case, this is, it's a situation of, you have a container full of, let's say, poison or bad things. CO2 is, as a marker gas, is the container, but people have started focusing on the container and forgot the content of it. So the actual pollutants within the container. So, so the combination of various plasma technology as well as our ability to connect to what we already have. And there are some technology which, like I've talked to Rick a little bit about it, is that the two-stroke engine technology, or there is another kind of engine called Wankel engine or rotary engine. Those technologies produce more pollution just because there is more pollutant in the gasoline, but they are more efficient, and we don't use them anymore because of the emission restrictions these days. But if your fuel source, as we have with the plasma technology, is pure, then these becomes actually superior technology compared to what's normally used in the engines these days. And they are in many ways much simpler than the current technology because it's a little more complex, and generally computers are used to do the airflow mixture these days and firing of the ignition and so forth. So for example, some of the flow characteristic in a two-stroke engine is very similar to the magnetic gravitational flow of plasma technology. So there are actually advantages in talking in terms of these kind of engine technology. And so there are other things, not just engine technology. There are other things there where we can bring some sort of outdated technology, outdated because we didn't have the understanding of plasma at that time. But with plasma and the science of plasma, we can have a few of those. in the mix of things in the future. So the main thing is that the things that we have already, we can use that to connect with people. The matter state technologies that exist today, we can use those to connect to people such that we can tell them about plasma technology or bring them to plasma technology, respecting what's there, but not being attached to it, but a starting point to move to the new plasma science and technology. All of us, those who are involved with this technology and science, know that how sometimes it's a bit difficult to convince people. But if you can, when we can do it in a measurable sense, like fuel efficiency and things like that, and the feel of the car changes and things, people get, actually there is one friend of mine who was at the beginning, he said, you're going bananas, and I did it to his car. And then he changed his mind, not completely banana. That's what he said after that. So, an interesting thing is that his car, he lost the coil at one point. The performance was still there, but after a while it started diminishing because it was not completely nano-coated. So after a few months. So in any case, sometimes, just giving people tangible evidence in the physical world helps, but not always. And in any case, there is one friend of mine who said, is it safe to put in my car? And I said, well, it increases the power, or the fuel efficiency. And still, that friend was not quite convinced that it was something that he should put in the car. But anyway, there is it's sometimes it works, and just like health technology. And the interesting part to me is that demonstrating to people that your thought is also, at some point at the beginning, it's difficult for very materialistic engine technology people to do it. But those who have a passion for it, you can connect to that level that thoughts matter. But in changing these parameters. So with that, I'll conclude this, but it was quite different from what we usually talk in this One Nation, One Planet, One Race. And because of Stefania's special, I forget, one city. Anyway, I can't remember this. I talked about this very matter state part of plasma science. Thank you, everybody. And if you have any questions, and Rick may want to add a few things if you find it that might help people, because he knows a lot about this world of engine technology, a lot more than I do. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mashfaq. Well, definitely in the earlier days of the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, a few years ago, people were more interested in this phenomenon of changing the attributes of a vehicle, everything from the gas mileage to how smooth it would feel, and other observations. And a number of knowledge seekers pursued that and kept records of gas mileage and the effects that people felt when they transformed their vehicle with the plasma technology. And that's done in many ways, using nano-coated coils on the batteries and putting GANs in the fuel, putting GANs in the oil and other parts of the car. And we've also discussed that recently in the Keshe Plasma Reactor group. Gianni does quite a bit of work with that. He has plasma-sized his vehicle, and he says it's changed the way that it's run quite a bit for him. Okay, well, gets kind of technical, and that's something that we can investigate more in the Keshe Plasma Reactor group if people would like to pursue that further.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you, my dear Moshfik, for sharing the beauty and totality as you always do. Anybody wants to ask anything to Moshfik or Rick about this mechanism of plasma love? Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon of beautiful people here. It's Mehran, UC Farsi language. Just to add something as testimonial of somebody I knew. Many of you, maybe you know Jackie at the time, maybe 2017. I remember that he had taken his car from Switzerland to France with very little of essence of gas. And I remember one day I had heard it was live teaching of Mr. Keshe that he had told Jackie, which he was showing some of the things, and that he had taken the appointment with Peugeot factory for him to go and see him about how to use it in the car, for the cars or something like that. And so it means that I encourage everybody who wants do it in your own inspirations, because it works. And then if not, you work. And then when the governments accept it, then we'll have the cars which run by the plasma technology. Well, I personally wait to buy a new car when it's plasma technology. So good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Mehrnaz. I also want to share a few days ago, this condition has happened. In India, well, most of the countries, women are not supposed to drive cars and bikes and all. So we are given this scooty type of small thing that you go to school, go to college and all. And 4 of the girls are driving on the same scooty and going. It's so frustrating, And when everybody tells that, oh no, women are not supposed to drive a car. At that time, I will say, when I was like a teenager, you should drive a scooty, kind of that, and you will get hurt if you do. And if you get hurt, that will be very bad. You cannot handle this. And then when I started in a driving school, I started to learn how to drive, and I learned in a balanced way. I have seen women driving cars more balanced way than men. Men, I mean, well, I am saying that, where they are cause of most accidents, in our roads here. So, but I was not given a car because women are, kind of delicate. What we will do if the tires goes out? What we will do is the engine is not working? You will stand in the front, in the side of the road and shout for help. No, 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 this is not happening. And then there was somebody, every time a man with me to drive wherever I want to go. So at the long years have gone, the thrust of driving, like is being like that. I should drive a car. I should drive a car. But then I forgot how to drive. Kind of that, I forgot how to drive, and then this randomly I goes on life like that, with my husband, with my son, with my other relatives, both maximum both men. Now I am sometimes accompanied with my sister or my daughter. They know how to drive, but I forgot driving. So 2 days before, I was coming with my son in my car from somewhere, and it was in the highway street, very the traffic was jammed, as Moshfik said. Have trust in you, as beautifully he said. So this I want to share that as my son was just irritating with the traffic, and I was moving here and there to make way. In India, you can do that, in India, maximum in our countries, we can do that. In small areas, they just push the car and just stand and again push the car. There is no law for this. And then I said, don't get frustrated, my dear. The traffic will be cleared in a moment. Don't get like this, because of your frustrating, you will be in trouble. But he didn't listen to me. Then I said, I'm talking about the plasma battery, the plasma energy that are using in Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute to fly cars. So my son was saying, you're talking about Tesla. No, I said, no, I'm not talking about Tesla. I'm talking about me, Shweta plasma battery. How about that? My son says, Mom, you are going mad. You are always talking mad. Oh, yes, you see me mad. But the truth is what I am saying. Believe me, I will drive a car from here and I will fly over the traffic and go to the destination. Is that clear? Oh, my mom, you are always saying mad things. But, he was laughing. I was also laughing. But the happiness was different. I was so connected with the love of Keshe Foundation that the universal mechanism, they talk about mechanism. This is the mechanism. I was laughing with joy. I know what I know. But my son was laughing that my mom is kind of always say mad things. But Tesla doesn't matter to me anymore. The matter is who I am, who we are. We can drive, we can fly, we can do that. We have flied so many times, like that. So here I will say to Moshfik, my dear, a beautiful teacher, that this trust of soul and the physicality is very needed in this time. You have to see, you have to understand, you have to see the truth that the driving is upon you, what you drive. So here I wanted to share about the beautiful mechanism of bikes, and as soulfully we get together in this way. So the flying system is going on as we are there, and then the enhancement is there. And every person is every being is even a dog or a plant is in the enhancement unit. It will drive its own way. And of course, in the way of beauty and totality, if there is an option for you, and that is it. So thank you for listening. Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything? This is what we say here in India. We women always crave for, we can do manly things. We can do manly things. and we can fix the screw, we can fix the Stephanie, help in fixing the Stephanie and all, but they don't believe in, they don't trust us, you know, but we trust them. The man within us is always ready to drive, ready to fly. Thank you so much. Any beautiful souls want to share anything? Please do. Welcome. If this is the One City, One Center, well, you can say a project of the oneness of the universal unified field and Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. There are many products, and as you know, we cannot say them products, they are mechanism universal and forever energies, a gift for humanity. Anybody can come to, if there's anything you want to, you want to get interaction with these mechanisms, you can contact to sales@kfm.global, and our Universal Council member from Bulgaria, Krasimir, will attend you as soon as possible. And I will say, my dear one, go to the page of the products, I will say in a physical way, or the mechanisms, beautiful, and have your, don't be a consumer, be a lover, be a giver, and with your kind hearts, the donations are accepted in peaceful ways. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we go to the next slide, my dear Rick? Here I welcome my dear Dean. Are you available? I mean, are you here, present? Okay. This is the Sunday. This is the spraying of the Dome of Peace. As we are spraying, we are understanding from eons, spraying, maybe spraying the beautiful waters, the purest of them, to be in the Dome of Peace. Well, I will say this is a call to all knowledge seekers. Let's together create the peace dome all over the planet. Use the plasma water from your cups of life, 1 and 2, to make the plasmatic spraying, my dear ones. So this is always you can do 24 hours. And this is at Sunday, specifically a group of people from Brazil, Mexico. They do, you can join. I have done it. And that's a joy I cannot explain. The drops on my head when I was spraying, that was so out of comprehension. I felt that water, walking with the water, walking through the water. So it is at Sunday, 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. CET time now, as because the summer time has gone. So let's together create the peace. And is there anything anybody wants to share about, and spread your soul also? Spread your soul, my dear one. This is the time of communication. The bridge is open. And I will say that, well, if beings come in their level of understanding, I know it is not easy to understand, as the level of even this dimension is so much intense. But when you come up, that is the joy you are. That is the joy and peace, and you are welcome. The doors are open. But you know, as a cycle, maybe sometime the dimension will go. Well, I will say that thank you. If somebody wants to say some words of the Dome of Peace, as the Dome of Peace is here, we can experience that. We can see that. Many of us can see that. So is there anything anybody wants to share? Sorry. Please do with your heart and soul. Open your hearts, my dear. Thank you so much.
Well, I'd like to read the words in the chat from Mark regarding the Italy movie, and which had a lot to do with the creating the peace dome all over the planet and spreading of the Gans waters. Marx says, beautiful, viva Italy and all nations as they move into the one race planet structure being brought and offered by the universal community through the Keshe Foundation. Advanced space technology in exchange for peace on this planet. The time has come to join with our larger universal family, which is peaceful. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Hi, it's Diane. I just want to say that, the understanding that we're moving from the physical reality into a plasma reality. Okay, I just wanted to share that. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear Diane. Thank you so much. Yes, of course, we are moving, and maybe we can see in physicality the hardshipness, but then the softness behind that is coming up, and people will feel the simpleness, the truthfulness, and the burdens they don't need anymore. To show somebody, to give, to say somebody that to hear that you have to do that or this, otherwise you are not fit. But here we all fit into it. No, thank you, my dear Diane. Thank you so much.
Sweta, hi, it's Dean here. May I quickly say something before you move on?
Oh, of course, my dear. Welcome.
Thank you. So going back to the other slide, this call to all the knowledge seekers. So this calling for each and every soul present is being spread with the plasma waters and with the knowledge all across this blue planet. The planet itself has vast oceans that circumnavigate the whole of the planet. It's a plasma. It's full of GANs. That's that cellular structure within inside the body of humanity. It's part of us. It's part of the structure. It is us. So when we spread the GANs from an hydrogen, an atom, when we set an intention to spread those GANs into the waters, anywhere across the planet, we are connecting with all the souls in that particular moment through the amino acid structure and through the intention of our thoughts and wishes. Those thoughts and wishes can manifest as all sorts of tools. There are many different tools we can use. We can use the matter state of an instrument. We can use the intention behind playing the instrument. The very thought to produce the first note sends a wave of field strength, a condition out across the waters and touches each and every soul present in the moment. It is a beauty, it is a wonder, it is part of our existence of being present in the moment, both in physicality and on a plasmatic level. We have that condition within inside ourselves, we call it a soul, that is present in every dimension and is present in our physical bodies, guiding and protecting us and helping us to become part of a larger totality. We exist and we are part of the structure of the planet Earth. We live within our environment and we walk and talk and act in certain ways. In ways that interact with us when we create a condition of harmony and peace. We bring this forward to the whole of humanity just by releasing those plasma waters, those thoughts, those intentions, those notes, the note, into the atmosphere, into the field strength that is the cell, that can be from the cell in your body to the cell of the universe. As Mr. Keshe would say, the womb of the universe, and we are part of it. We have that heartbeat within us. We have it within our body structure. It's within harmony when we allow. It's part of the structure of a bigger, much bigger picture. And so in this moment, when we spread that thought and intention, that note, those waters into the ocean that is deeply connected with the atmosphere, that is then connected with the atmosphere of the solar system, the universe, the unicos. It's all part of the same structure. It's just from your viewpoint, from your observation, from wherever you happen to be, and what you take into account in the moment with your thought, actions, and deeds. So this call to all knowledge seekers: be present in the moment, give from your heart and soul into those plasmatic conditions, enhance all around you, give freely, serve the best you can, and all will receive from you the field strength that you emanate into this beautiful, wonderful creation in this sacred, blessed moment. Thank you. Thank you, Sweta.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear Dean. With your beautiful voice, it is always mesmerizing to hear you. Thank you for saying beautiful words, kind words to humanity. Thank you so much. Eric, there's another page of this call of Dome of Peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your microphone's making noise again.
Okay. I'm putting it. It is okay. Yes. I just have to view full screen. 1 minute. Okay. The screen has shortened for time, so the Dome of Peace. Please remember, every Sunday from now on until we raise the soul of this planet to a peaceful planet, Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers worldwide will spread the Gans water around the world at 12 PM CET and 18 PM CET every Sunday at the same time as they choose which time to suit them. Thank you for participating in this greatest movement by the soul of man to bring about the peace on this planet as a permanent feature of the life of this planet. Mr. Keshe suggests we add the next step to create the Dome of Peace with the power of our soul. We ask you to spread the Gans waters each Sunday. Now we give you a new path. Now try to unite each other's souls. Try to elevate the souls of humanity through your own soul to a level that no one can touch the embodiment of human race. So beautiful. so soulful. Choose a time where all of you come together on the soul level in a state of inner calmness. At that time, don't spread the water of guns, but spread your soul, my dear beautiful souls. Unite, and in time, we will make a new race out of the soul of man. And then instead of doing it in a week, once a week, do it all the time, always. MT Keshe. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, my Messiah Shriman MT Keshe. So now we can go to the, anybody wants to share anything? There was a post from Mehrnaz. One.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Mehrnaz, welcome.
I would like to share. First of all, as I've told you in our meeting, I have a feeling we have lost an opportunity to get to another level. And I feel it only that we still have to try to get another chance to raise everybody else and maybe confront some sufferings in the meantime. But we learn anyway. One of the things, I'm like you also, I'm asking myself, what could I do more than my capacities? Because capacity means anything we can do physically, anything we are able emotionally and in our souls. Sometimes we have some kind of education which creates some emotion in us, which impedes our doingness in what we want to do. So it's a whole thing when I say capacity. So there is something we can do which costs nothing. And we at least know every day we have done something. And I put in the chat that we connect to our souls every night at 9 p.m. and we raise all souls, the soul of all leaders, political and religious leaders. Every night at 9 p.m. we connect the souls, and that's the least we can do to raise the souls. Thank you. So what can you raise?
Thank you, my dear Mehrnaz, for sharing. We are present in this togetherness as you have shared always. Thank you so much, my dear. Salam, namaste, salute. Anybody, any beautiful soul want to share anything more? Sorry. Welcome. So this is the Mojan, as the soul talk is going on, and every presentation is soulful. So the Mojan is behind every presentation for now, from now, and forever. So is there anything anybody wants to say anything in this Mojan presentation? Any experience they shared? Any question they want to ask about Mojan? Please do. Welcome. And if there is no question or sharing, or for now, I say, can we go to the next? We can skip this. Yeah. Skip Mojan. Diane Smith has posted. Yeah, I will. Remember the time of Moses when the Pharaoh would not, when Moses said, "Let my people go." Oh, so beautiful, Diane. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, there should be no block anymore. Yes, this is the bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one race, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. And this is justified always. Welcome, my dear one, to share your wishes and your saying, your share. Thank you. Welcome.
Okay, well, Cock Van Galen in the YouTube has a suggestion of sorts. I think it's a suggestion. He mentions a couple of things. It says, have a rock music foundation, sound of creation, cymatics and mandalas. He says the Climatica Zeitgeist were the films that woke me up.
Cool. Rock music. I love rock music, you know. But you know, I was also been in the Zeitgeist movement when I started, you know, my dear. But thank you. Of course, music is very necessary. Rocking is also very necessary. Welcome, my dear. Your thought process is very beautiful, you know. As you started, this is the trigger of all music, all love. And thank you for sharing your rocky sharing. And we all love rock music, you know. I was a great fan of Freddie Mercury. I'm still. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, my dear. In this dimension, all is music, all is music, all is poetry. And we have this time now like relaxing for the music to come, to hear the music. Otherwise, even a bit of hearing a music was so difficult. But now we have this. I have written poetry when I was very sad, going through hardships of emotions. But then now I want to write again the poetry by seeing the moon again in love. Oh, of course, in the combination of rock music. All music are beautiful, my dear. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, my dear.
He had a couple of comments just before the Rock Music Foundation comment. It says, I just needed to look at a flower to see the beauty of God. And after that, stillness in the storm.
Yes, you can see beauty. Yeah, you can see beauty in all things, my dear. All things. If you want to see, no, there's beauty everywhere. Just we are devoid of these things, of course. Of course, my dear. The flower is the way. Beautiful. Thank you.
Rick, may I just quickly say something? Just looking at the screen right now. Sorry, it's Dean here again. We see the different colors on the screen written. So we have orange, one planet. We have one nation in green, and one race in blue. For justice in blue, and world peace. world peace starts with inside ourselves. Whether we go from one end of the spectrum, from one race in blue, to the other end of the spectrum, one planet in orange. And in green, one nation, together as one soul, one being, acting, thinking, and speaking good in this moment, being in harmony with each other, giving in nature, being part of everything, because we are part of everything. We are everything. It's within our environment, inside our very structure as human beings. And it's all around our environment, in everything that we see, touch, smell, interact with, give our thoughts and intentions to in each and every moment. Every interaction, everything we have starts with a thought, plasmatic interaction of two spheres, the two plasmas within inside of a brain, with a centralized core in the middle, the little black dot, the space gap, the soul, that creates realities and worlds and matter state all around us. As we interact with our thoughts and intentions, and we turn it into the matter state, and we see it before and we touch it, and all the interactions we have with the physicality. But the first interaction is with the thought. So for one nation across the planet in peace, in this very moment, world peace is within us all, is within this very moment. Thank you all. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, my dear Dean. Thank you so much. Beautiful, the beauty and totality you shared. Well, in the level of understanding, well, I will say, hold on, dear souls. Someday, maybe we will understand, and many are in the journey. So, sometimes, you know, this transition is like, you know, sometimes brings tears, sometimes the happiness, this combined everything. But then when people are ready, they will travel too. So anyone else want to say something? I mean, thank you. Welcome. But even then, we can hear in this silence also our heart and soul dancing together, making communications. This became so easy for us, simple as that. As we are all in a way, we are all one. So when we can go to the next slide, a wrap up time. Hello, yeah. So here's the. Anybody else have any question? I mean, sorry. I will read a post from Mark. Hello, Rick, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, thank you. I will read the post from my dear Mark, that 9 p.m. daily, Central European time, together, collectively, we spread the fields of our soul or energies for elevation of the creation here and throughout the unique cause. All welcome to join. Welcome, my dear. Welcome. Thank you, my dear Mark. My dear Rick, if there is, for now, there's the beauty and totality of the silence.
Yes, I was going to say there's a lot of
lot of
whole
silence.
lot of silence.
Lot of silence. Oh, fill your heart with all the love, my dear. You became lovers. Oh, of course, observe. Thank you. And we can go to the next slide, my dear Rick. Here is the key of all being so natural. We are here to serve, not to be served, my dear beautiful souls, the universal council. And I will say, this is Shweta Anwar, UC, a knowledge seeker, a volunteer of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute and UC Hindi language. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And this is the way I welcome again. Welcome, welcome. Suswagatam to the beauty and totality, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Thank you so much. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute.
Okay, thank you, Sweta, and members of the Universal Council and others today for your sharing. This has been the 247th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. Okay, we can announce the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which will be starting Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central European Time. And folks are welcome to bring their questions or contraptions to that meeting. And we discuss various topics, and especially technical ones or questions that people have about their setups is a good way to interact. Okay, and that starts at 7 a.m. as I mentioned. And what else do we have? We have the TV Galactica as well, I believe, which I think it starts at 10 p.m. Central European Time now. And that's available through the TV Galactica YouTube channel and TV Galactica Facebook. And that's with Marie, a member of the Universal Council, and people are invited to that venue. All right, well, it's time to go out with our music and dance section here.
We are rock and roll.
Maybe we need to start a rock music foundation. Get our blood going a little more here. Oh, Jefferson. Thank you. Jefferson reminds me that the TV Galactica is now 9 p.m. Central European Time. Thanks,
yes. Thank you, Jefferson, my dear. Thank you.
Okay, let me get things lined up here. And bye, everyone. See you in the next public teaching workshop.